Yo, so our opening fight of the prelims, we have got the light heavyweights. Yes, people, it is Uran. Oh boy, I'm gonna be butchering a lot of names today, people, so you need to bear the fuck with me. It's Uran Satybaldiev against Diyar Nurgozhay, I think. Right? So Diyar, he's 28, 6'2". Right? He has got an overall record of 10-1. Which not bad, right? Not bad at all. So he's coming via the Contender Series. He lost his debut fight to Brenderson Ribeiro. That was March this year on the Vittori Delize 2 card. He got submitted in the second round. On the Contender Series, he won by knockout in the second round. So, yeah, it's one of them things, you know. When you look at his record, right, he's won a good few fights via knockout. He does have a couple of submissions. Right, interesting enough, one is actually by Kimura, which he lost by. Right, and he's won by a heel hook as well. But those two were very early in his career. So yes, that is him. And we are going up against Gorilla Uran Satybaldiev, who is 31, 6'4", and he's got an overall record of 8-1. Okay, so he's also coming in off of a loss. He lost to Martin Buday, actually, right? And, they've been out of the octagon for a similar amount of time because his last fight was April, right? UFC on the Emmett v. Murphy card, which I think you forget that was earlier this year. Right, for some reason I thought LeRon fought Emmett last year, at the end of last year, but no, yeah. So that was then. Now that went to a decision, right? He, he's fought in the LFA a few times, winning via submission, knockout. He's gone to a decision a few times, but he does have a good few knockouts on his record, a good few knockouts, right? So, yes. Now, he's won via Kimura, which Diyar has lost via. So there is that. There is that. This one is really, it is a bit of a toss-up, right? Is a bit of a toss-up. I'm going to go with Uran, and that's just because he's coming via LFA. And LFA is one of the best regional promotions, if not the best, right? For all of the feeding grounds, I would just say, for me, LFA is a step above. Production, commentary, just all the facets, as well as the matchmaking for the fights themselves. So yeah, I'm going with Uran to get the win. So then we jump to the bantamweights. We have Xiao against Zhang. Okay, so Xiao, right? He is 27, 5'8". He's got a record of 27-9. Yeah, he's had a good few fights, right? So, yes, he has Matt, he's had 4 fights in the UFC, right? He has won 3, lost 1. So not bad, right? He made his debut in May 2023. Actually, yeah, I'm using Sheerdog today because Tapology kept on crashing on me. So it's like, yeah, doing all this information is presented slightly differently. So no, he's actually fought in the UFC proper twice, because 2 of the I would probably say once, right? Because he came via Road to the UFC, and so the final was on the UFC on ABC 6 card, and he lost the final via split decision. But then he won his UFC proper fight on the Yan Figueiredo card. Right, he got a 3rd round knockout, which is that's pretty good, right? He's gone to decision a good few times, so we know he's got that stamina. He does have some submissions on the card and a good few knockouts as well. I think he's probably got more subs than knockouts, and varied as well. You know, some arm bars, some rear naked, you know what I mean? He mixes it up. Now, he is going up against Yu Su Young, who, hold on. Boy, I have to say, I think I prefer the layout of Tapology. It's a little bit simpler, to be honest with you people. Okay, so Suyu Young Jiu-Jitsu, he likes to go by. He's 29-5-6. Right, he's got a record of 15-3. So he he also came via Road to the UFC, and I believe he won. Right, he won his division. And he won his UFC debut against AJ Cunningham. That was on the Vittori Delice 2 card in March this year. That won a decision. So, a lot of his fights do go the distance. You know? He's had 1 no contest. He has won via knockout. He's also got some subs as well on the record. Okay, so I think Zhao Long has got the more experience, you know, so I'm gonna go with Long for the win here. We next go to the featherweights, and we have Yi Jia against Westin Wilson. Okay, so Westin, he's 36-6-1. He's got a 17-9 record. Okay, so he last fought in June 2024, where he got a triangle armbar over Jeka Sagai. That was on the Perez Tayara card, and that was in the first round. Right, so he's had 3 fights in the UFC. Won his debut, right, against Fabricio Frank. No. Sorry, he lost his debut against Jordason Brito. Right, knocked out in the first round. That was on the Strickland Magomedov card. He then lost his next fight. That was against Jean Lord Silva. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like everyone's losing to Silva, man. You know what I mean? And getting sparked by him. So there's no shame in that, right? That was Ankalaev Walker 2. But then he came back and got the win in his last fight, right? So, you know, I think that shows, right? Perseverance, right? Determination. Outside the UFC, he has got a number of submissions, right? He does like a sub, right? It's rear naked, arm bars, you know, he varies it up, guillotines. So there is that. He has got a couple of KOs, but it's mainly submissions is what he likes to do. So he is going up against Zhang, right? Who is 28-5-7. He's got an overall record of 25-5. Okay, so he lost his last fight. That was against Gabriel Santos. Went a decision, and that was on the Burns Brady card, September 2024. Okay. Okay, he came via Road to the UFC, and he did win his final. Right, got a first round armbar submission. Right, so that's how he came to the UFC. He does like a submission, and he does like an armbar. So we do have that. He's had a few rear naked chokes as well. Yeah. So, but overall, he does like a submission. Okay. So, I think, right, when you break it down and look at it, I think, you know, Zhang might be the slightly better one on the ground. So, yeah, I'm going to take him over Wilson. It will be interesting, though, because I think the person that has got those skills on the ground will take it. You know, whoever has that edge. So we then jump to the middleweight division. We have Michel Pereira against Carl Daukaus. Right. So, the Dark Knight, Kyle Daukaus. Right. He's 32-6-3. He's got a record of 15-4. Okay. So he's back. Yeah, I was surprised, right? Because, you know, he fought in the UFC. And he started off really well, but then things just went a bit funky, right? His last fight was against Eric Anders. That was on the Thompson Holland card, December 2022. And he got knocked out in the second round. But he went away. He went to CFFC and won 4 fights, right? 4 fights back to back, you know? And yeah, he's got, 2 submissions, 1 decision, and the last one was a knockout. So yeah, he's definitely put in work. I do believe he was their champion as well. So yeah, no, he's done well, man. Like, you know what I mean? He dealt with the knockback of getting cut and put in work to come back, right? He fought twice in 2023 and then twice in 2024. So this will be his first fight of 2025. Right, so Michel Pereira, Demeldor, he's 31-6-1. Right, he's got a record of 31-13. And we last saw him in April, right? He fought Abus Magomedov on the Gary v. Pratas card, where he lost a decision. And that was, coming off another loss to Anthony Hernandez. But Fluffy has been on a tear. So, Fluffy did just dismantle him, though. That's what that was. But, when Pereira fights well, he because before those two losses, he was on a streak. You know what I mean? He had that terrible fight with Diego Sanchez where he hit the elite. He was winning, but then kneed him while he was on the ground. And you're just like, what are you doing? Right? He was clearly on the ground. It was so insane. But, he came off of that and he won, 8 fights back to back. He really put it together. But, just came up short in those last 2. So, I think Pereira can get broken. If you come at him, you can stifle his game. And I think as well, if you can take him down, right, like Hernandez, just smother him, just control that shit. And I think that's what Daukaus can do. So, I'm taking Carl Daukaus, right? I think we're going to see a refreshed and revitalized Daukaus. So I'm very, very interested. Because when he came to the UFC, he was definitely looking promising. So yes, let's see what happens. All right, so we then jump to the lightweights. We have Rong against Austin Hubbard. Or that's Rong. I think that's Rong Zhu against Austin Hubbard. Okay, so, where are we? Oh, here. Fudd Hubbard, right? He's 33, 5'10". He's got a 16-9 record, right? So, we last saw him against Michel Medeiros, on the Moreno Urseg card in March this year. He lost a split decision, right? And that was after also losing a split to Alexander Hernandez, right? So, it always sucks losing a split, right? So there's those two. He came back to the UFC, lost to Kurt Harborough. He then did win against Michael Figlak, but then he's just lost those last 2. So he does need a win, right? Hubbard does need a win, but he is a dog. You know what I mean? He's not going to quit. He is going to bring it to you. I think that's the big thing with Hubbard. You know what I mean? He's definitely, he's not a quitter. You know what I mean? He's not a quitter. So he's going up against Rong Zhu, who is 25, 5'11", got a record of 26-6. So he is, he came to the UFC via Road to the UFC. He won, right? He won his final. That was in February 2024. Got a third round submission, which, that's always impressive. He lost his debut. Second round was a doctor's stoppage, so it would have been a cut. That was on the Burns-Brady card against Chris Padilla. He then won that crazy fight with Cody Steele. He was on the other side of that. That was on the Duplessis Strickland 2 card in February this year. So, he can win a war, right? He can stand and bang. He will bring it to you. That is the kind of fight that Hubbard likes. You know what I mean? That is the fight that Hubbard likes. He does have submissions, though. Right? And he has got some knockouts, right? His first fight on Road to the UFC was a knockout. So he does have that. Oh, interesting enough, this is his second stint in the UFC as well. So he got cut, went on Road to UFC and got back. So I think that shows tenacity as well. Yes, there is that. I think when you factor in all of these things, he's got knockout power, he's got submissions, and he's probably got less miles. So I think I'm taking Rong for the win, unfortunately for Austin Hubbard. Right, so now this fight, oh my gosh, this fight I've been definitely looking forward to. It's Lerone Kavanagh against Charles Johnson, which is, this is intriguing, people. This really is, right? Inner G Charles Johnson. He's 34, 5'9". He's got a record of 17-7. He was the former LFA lightweight champion. And, man, he was on a nice little streak. Beat Joshua Van, Jake Hadley, right, Azat Maxim. But in his last fight, man, he lost to Ransombek Timiov on the Cape Alabiev card in March this year. And he looked so flat in that fight. I don't know if he had an injury or what, but he didn't look his usual self. Because I picked him after, just that impressive streak he had been on. It was just like, Charles Johnson has found his groove, But yeah, for whatever reason, he looked really friggin' flat. Really flat. Which was very frustrating. Because, that's the problem sometimes with Johnson. That you'll go, oh man, he's looking really good, I'll take him. And then he just doesn't show up for whatever reason. But he's a really good fighter. I don't think we've seen him hit the same form that he showed in LFA, though he has had some impressive fights in the UFC. So it's just waiting for his coming out party, right? I think that's the thing with Johnson. Now he's going up against Lonnie Kavanagh, right? Who is 26, 5'4". He's got a record of 9-0. That's right. He has not lost in his pro career. He's coming off a decision win over Felipe dos Santos. That was on the Edwards Brady card in March this year at the O2 in London. I was there. I was working, but I was there. Didn't see shit, but, it's one of them things. He has looked really frigging good, right? He came by the Contender Series, got a knockout in the first round. Now, his 2 UFC proper fights have been decision wins, but he has looked very good in both fights, you know? So he's coming via Cage Warriors. And, man, yeah, he put on some really good fights in Cage Warriors, you know? I can't remember if he did win the championship, or maybe he was going to have a championship fight and then he got signed. I forget how it went, but he has looked very good, right? And I think, right, he's just got that confidence. He has got that he has got a full game, right? And he does, when he, you know, he's putting it all together, he's got very good kicks. Right now, I like energy, right? I usually always pick energy. That's how much I rate Charles Johnson. But in this one, I think I'm gonna have to go with Kavanagh. Right? I think we haven't seen him hit his ceiling yet, and Kavanagh is that fighter who you feel has got the potential to go all the way. So I'm picking Lonnie Kavanagh for the win. So our final fight in the prelims, we are back to the lightweights. We have got Maheshate Hayisaer against Gage Young. So, yes, Gage G Money Young. He's 25, 5'9". He's got a 9-3 record. Right, so, yes, he lost his UFC debut. That was against Evan Elder on the Gary Pratas card in April this year. It went a decision, you know. Before that, right, he got a knockout in his fight before the UFC. He did try for the Contender Series in 2024. Didn't work, right? He got won a decision, but yeah, he did get the call. So, you know, that tells you something, right? Definitely tells you something. Now, in his fights outside the UFC, he's been getting knockouts and subs, right? That's literally, a few have gone to decision, but it's mainly knockouts and subs, right? That's what he's been doing. And across from him is Maheshate Hayisaer, right, who is 25, 6 foot. Right, he's got a 10-4 record. So, yeah, he's coming off a loss in his last fight as well. That was against Nicholas Mota on the Zhang Figueiredo card in November last year. He went a decision. Right, before that, he he came via the Contender Series, right? He won a decision and a contract over Achilles Estramadeira. He won his debut against Steve Garcia, which is no mean feat, right? That was in 2022. But then he lost his next two against Rafa Garcia and Slavakors, right? A decision and a knockout. He did come back against Gabriel Benitez, won a split decision. But yeah, then he lost his last fight against Mota. So he's got some knockouts, right? Got some knockouts. He does have a submission, but it's mainly decisions and a few knockouts, right? I think Young might be the more rounded of the two. I think he's got, and he might have the heavier hands out of the two. This is intriguing. It's a great fight to take us into the main card. And people, I think I'm going with Gage Young for the win. So yeah, very intrigued. Let's see how it goes, right? Let's see how it goes. But yeah, people, that leads us to our main card.